Good afternoon, everyone, and great to be back in Middleborough again. Welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. I hope you enjoyed my first show here with my crazy axe man guest, David Kolakolski, a couple of weeks ago. And I have an equally awesome show for you guys tonight with this lovely lady, Ana Alden, who is also one of the underwriters, and we're going to talk about what she does. But before we get to that, we got to read the underwriters. We might as well start with her because she's the top of the list. So we got Ana Alden Discovers Wellness, and that's what the show is about. And that's right here in Middleborough. We got countertop specialists in Pembroke. We got Matt's Auto Repair in Kingston. We got good old Dave's Automotive on Route 58 in Hanson. And we got a Wicked Healthy Natural Foods and Supplements in Kingston. And I want to thank you guys very much. And now we will start the show officially, Ana. So, Ana Alden, thank you for coming in tonight and being on my show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You have a very noble profession, and we're going to cover that and how you help people, near and far. And the people of Middleborough are going to wonder where you've been if they don't know you yet. But after tonight, all of them will know you, and I'm sure that range will expand way beyond Middleborough as well. Maybe worldwide after tonight, the way I figure it. And that's pretty cool. So, like I do with all my guests, I want to find out about what you were like growing up, how you got to be where you're at. You told me a very interesting story about how your parents met. So let's share it with the world. And if I have any questions, I'll throw them in. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Ana Alden and my parents actually met in the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. Yeah, right?
Couldn't resist that one. Go ahead.
Yeah, and my dad is from Nebraska, and my mom is from Cambridge. And they were both on different paths and, ran away to the circus and met each other halfway across the country. And here I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Result of two vagabonds making it happen. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. And insert, a couple of trauma stories here and there and, different families and such, and 32 years and here we are today. Yeah.
61 years almost.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, let's break it down a little further. Talk about you had some interesting stories to tell. Go for it.
Yeah.
And then we'll
take
it to the next level.
My whole wellness journey really started in 2016, and it really started with my mental health.
Okay.
Born and raised, mental health has been very big in my family.
Okay.
My grandmother, God rest her soul, she unfortunately, she had committed suicide when my dad was 17.
Yeah, wow,
and,
sorry.
Him and his brothers, unfortunately, that's trauma.
That is trauma.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
And, myself personally being, born and raised in the traditional broken home, I guess you could say. My parents are no longer together.
Yeah.
They haven't been together in quite some time, and even thinking about them together is weird.
Okay, I can imagine it must be. Right.
Yeah, but
okay.
We're the traditional modern day family now, and
are you talking about the nuclear family going down one generation? You and you have a husband and
yes,
a 5-year-old daughter.
Yep, I have a husband and a 5-year-old daughter. That my husband and I, we didn't even get into this earlier, but we had struggled with infertility for a couple years.
Okay.
And so our Harley is our miracle baby, and
that's a sweet name. You named her after a motorcycle, did you?
No, her name's Harley Quinn.
Oh, Harley Quinn. That's named after ice cream. Okay.
Yeah, Harley Quinn. Yeah, she's our
Harley Quinn Alden.
Lally is actually her last name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my last name's really Lally. Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with Alden. That's
but
cool.
But anyway,
yep.
Yeah.
So for another day. Yep.
Yeah, for a different interview. So my wellness journey really started in 2016, and I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, which I knew that I had.
Right.
But it was to the point where I could no longer control it, and I needed help.
Right.
And I was not the best mom, wife person, you know.
Yep.
And I had resigned from my position at a local organization, and
You want to say what that was?
the YMCA.
YMCA, right
Yep.
here in Middleborough?
Yep.
Okay.
I had resigned. We had some really serious, heavy stuff going on at home.
Weren't you the health coordinator there? Is that what your position was?
I was when I left, I was the senior director.
Senior director, got it, okay.
Yeah,
I gotcha,
and
okay.
we had some serious stuff going on.
Yep.
And my husband had suffered acute withdrawal syndrome from Zoloft,
Yep.
coming off of Zoloft, and had caused him to have a psychotic break, and also being in recovery as well from alcohol.
Yeah.
It brings up all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
And one night I came home and found my husband in the backyard with a loaded shotgun under his chin.
Yeah.
And that night, I deeply felt like somebody was going to die that day, and I
Yeah.
wasn't quite sure who it was going to be.
Well,
And
just a quick question. You saw that, you intervened, I assume, and fortunately, it was just on his chin. It was not, the trigger had not been pulled.
correct.
Okay, well, that was great,
Yes.
obviously.
Yeah.
Because huge difference between pulled and not pulled.
Yeah.
And so,
For sure.
which is amazing. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Keep talking. Go ahead.
And it was late at night. My daughter was sleeping.
Yeah.
And that night, something snapped in myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, God or higher being or whoever is listening, my angels, anybody,
Yeah.
something's got to give. And my family's completely falling apart. And why is my family falling apart? And it was because I was falling apart.
Okay.
Myself personally.
Did you feel like guilty about it? Did you feel like it was totally on you?
I not in the very beginning, no.
Okay, but I mean, this moment here might have made you.
No, we go through
Yeah.
stages.
Right,
I mean,
it's
for
true, we
sure.
do, yep.
And it took my husband to hit a year sober to be able to actually process and release and heal from
Okay.
it. I mean, we're at the point where I can't even mow my backyard because it triggers,
You think of
different
memories of that
feelings
day.
and stuff. Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
Okay,
And,
no, that makes sense.
and
I hope you have a landscaper. Right.
I don't, but I'm in the market possibly. For
Okay,
one.
that's good. I'm sure there'll be one out there for you eventually.
But yeah,
Yep.
so it, trauma, my whole career was based on trauma-informed care and
Right.
working with children and families. And, how embarrassing is it to have somebody being able to sit here and help other people, but behind closed doors, your own family's falling apart.
I know it must be awful.
Yeah.
That in and of itself sounds very traumatic.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it is.
Well, sure it is, but
And-
okay, how are you handling it
Yeah,
now?
so I became medicated in
Yeah.
the beginning.
Okay.
I am definitely pro-medication for anybody that needs it.
Yep.
And at that point in time in my life, I definitely needed it.
Yeah.
And I am working very hard on different mindfulness techniques.
Which techniques?
Mindfulness
Oh,
techniques.
mindfulness, got it,
Yeah,
okay.
and being aware of my feelings when they're happening.
Right.
Allowing myself to have those feelings. My feelings are justified. There's nobody can tell me how I am feeling.
That's true.
It is, your feelings are your feelings, my feelings are mine, and I'm a person, and
Yeah.
I'm allowed to have my own thoughts and feelings.
Totally.
And a lot of people really forget about that, and it's really bringing it really back to basics.
Are you talking about people in general? I mean, in their own lives?
Yeah, for
you mean?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's definitely, I'm seeing a huge generational shift. And
How so?
I'm a older millennial.
Right. I'm a baby
and-
boomer, so I got you beat by 20,
yeah.
20
So
22
yeah,
years,
you're my
18
you're
years.
my dad. You're my dad's age.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, and but people that are born and raised in traumatic situations, there's cycles. and people only know what they know. And if they're not willing to accept the things that are going on that are not okay, and not take responsibility to be better for the future and our children ultimately, like that, they're our future.
They are our future.
That's what the whole point of this is.
Right.
Like,
when you have children, you need, it's a burden, but it's a worthy one, I guess, if you can handle it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say a burden. Because,
no, I'm only saying that speaking from, remember you just said a minute ago, you got to have your own feelings. My feelings are having children would be a burden. That's why I don't have any.
Well,
but that would be for me only. That wouldn't be for everybody else. If that were the case, nobody would have children.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I tried very hard to have children, and then when I got pregnant, it's
a blessing. You love that you have a child.
I
beautiful
absolutely
kid.
love her to death, but I hated being pregnant. So that was a really hard 9 months for me.
I can imagine.
To mentally be like, I've been praying for years to become pregnant, and here we are, and I can't.
Did you have to use? Now you had problems with fertility. Did you have to take drugs to fix that?
Mm-hmm. So I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, PCOS, and my entire adulthood had been misdiagnosed with a blood disorder. I was told at 18 that I had von Willebrand's disease.
Okay.
And come to find
out.
I
thought he was an artist.
I know. But come to find out, when we did end up getting pregnant, I didn't have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was good.
It was.
It must have been a roll off
was
your
awesome.
mind. Big one.
But yeah.
Okay.
But it still made me high risk, just in case, because it was still on my file.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, back in the day, 5 years ago or whatever, 6 years ago, I was, very unhealthy mentally, very unhealthy physically, and I decided when everything went down with my husband that I was going to focus on myself, and I was going to sign myself up for the weight loss surgery.
Okay.
And for those that have had it, know that it's not an easy fix, and it's not something that you can just go next week and have done. It's something that you work towards for an entire year.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you're having a part of your main organs being manipulated.
Yes.
And I was going to have the sleeve done.
Okay.
And when you have to get prepped and everything, and you have to go on a two week liquid diet or whatever beforehand, and I was in the process of shopping around for protein drinks because this girl likes to eat. I like to eat, and if it doesn't taste good, then I'm not going to do it. So my long-term girlfriend, a very close friend of mine who I was colleagues with for many years, I'd been seeing her.
You say colleagues with?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you help in your wellness?
No, she worked with families and everything with me as well.
At the Y?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just at a different one.
I got
you.
So yeah. Okay.
And she's amazing.
Cool.
And she, I reached out to her. She looked fantastic, and I said, "Listen, you've been following my story, and you've been, approaching me. I'm in the field of looking for protein. You're like, what do you got?" Okay. So she went all in, told me everything about it, and it's a big expense, to invest in yourself. And it's something that I've never done before. Okay. And it's just like anything else, whether it's getting your hair done.
You gotta get psyched up for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And getting your hair done or your nails done or something like that, but you gotta work on the inside too. And I was like, you know what? I'm all in. Sign me up. Let's do this because let's do it. And I lost 7 pounds in 6 days in 15 inches.
Wow.
And I had an epiphany and said, why am I going to go and cut my insides out to be able to do this when I handled a whole week of this program and I did not feel restricted and I did not feel at all like I couldn't handle it.
Well,
And
that's right.
I've
I mean,
been-
surgery is a risk no matter what.
Yeah,
It's
and
true.
for that year that I was prepping for it,
Yeah.
I was mourning food, let me tell you. I went to town every holiday. I was like, I want that, and that, because I'm never going to be able to eat it again.
Wow. Oh,
I got up to almost 300 pounds.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and for the mental state, you know, it's very, very knowledgeable to know that your gut health is the main cause of your mental health status.
Okay.
So it's really important to fuel your body with power foods and naturals, you know, nature's resources to be able to really have the great brain function. And you said you're vegan,
I'm
right?
vegan, and I totally get that.
And I'm like full blown, like that is like the coolest
I've been a
thing.
vegetarian since before you were born,
That
based
is
on
amazing.
the timeline, so it's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's awesome. And
It'll be 38 years on July 30th, which is in 3 days.
Yeah, awesome.
2
Good
days,
for
what
you.
am I saying?
Good
2
for
days.
you,
It'll be
yeah.
38 years I've been a
Wow.
vegetarian.
It's awesome.
I know, I love it.
Yeah, and it for the whole mental state, and it's huge, the gut health. And I you know, I called my doctors, all of them that I've been working very close with, you know, for a year, and said, you know, I'm canceling my appointment that's in 3 weeks. Like, I'm not going to do it.
Okay, so you figured out you're going to just do it on your own and
Yeah,
not
I'm
do the
going to do
surgery.
it on my own. I'm going to learn the tools.
Okay.
I'm going to surround myself with a community of people that, you know, have pain and struggle just like I do.
I did myself, believe me,
Yeah,
when I was a
and-
kid, so I've been there.
You know, and really feel like I belong somewhere.
Okay.
And it totally sparked something inside of me.
Well, did it have
and-
anything to do with how you help other people, though?
Absolutely.
Okay,
That-
so I want to hear
for
how that
sure.
relates to other people that you help.
I decided that I needed to work on myself really hard. So for a year, I worked really, really hard.
Okay.
I lost 60 pounds. And honestly, like, and that was my first top priority, was
Yeah.
to lose the weight. But what I ended up getting out of it in the first year is so much more important. And it was all the mind stuff.
Right.
And, you know, I lost my aunt last year to lung cancer.
Oh, sorry.
And, you know, it was devastating. That was a devastating hit to us.
Right.
And to me especially. And to know that, you know, the toxins around us in our food, in the air, and just in general,
Yeah.
like it's astronomical, and people only know what they know. And if people aren't open-minded to actually really seeing what's outside of their little, you know, their little circle, then
The comfort zone.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. And getting out of your comfort zone, this is huge. Like, I was a nervous wreck all day before coming out here today.
Okay.
Yeah, and like,
Why? Because you've never been on TV before?
I've never been on TV
Oh, good.
before.
Well, you're doing very well.
Thank you.
Okay.
But this is a prime example, like getting out of your comfort zone, doing things, you know, that you're passionate about, and that, you know, and have fun with it. And I share my stories and my chaos and my
you-
triumphs and my successes, and
In order to help other people?
in order to help other people.
That's great.
And it's crazy. There's people that come out of the woodwork that, you know, that I haven't talked to in years, that have, you know, like years and years and years. And knowing that people watch, and knowing that people, you know, can relate to me, you know, is pretty awesome, because it helps me heal as well.
Right.
You know, we're all human.
It sounds to me like right now you're in the best place you've been in a long time.
I am.
That's
yeah.
great. That's
yeah.
you know, I'm glad to have you here on a high note instead of a low note.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Tell
Me too.
Tell me
Yeah.
a little about blooper ball.
Oh, Lord.
That's part of,
Blooper
and that
ball.
believe, and I can tell that's part of your therapy too.
Yes. So, for the record, ladies and gentlemen, I'm awful at it. So, growing up, I used to play softball with my girlfriend.
Okay.
And we were on the town league, and I was awful. But as I went on this wellness journey, and I hate to exercise normally, and I was like, you know, I love team environments, and I used to love softball, even though I was awful at it. But what can we
You
do
get
here?
out, you have fun, and you
And yeah,
recreate.
I had a couple of girlfriends from the Y that were on this league,
Okay.
and they were looking for people, and I was like, what the heck?
It's
I'll
kind of like
just do it.
softball. You throw the ball, you pitch to yourself. I remember you told me that.
Yeah, I still.
But it is
I'm
two teams
season
against
2,
each
and
other.
I'm still not quite sure how we play.
Okay, but you get out of the field somewhere around town.
Yeah, and I
okay.
sweat my butt off,
Yeah.
and I laugh hysterically, and I have a good time.
That's the way it should be, and I guess you do it
Yeah.
regularly.
Yeah, I do. I go every week. I'm usually the first one there, which is hysterical because I'm late to
What
everything.
position are you?
Right field.
Right field?
Yes,
Cool.
that is my spot. Nobody better take it.
So you shag flies and you hit them out. Is that it? It's like baseball, kind of softball. Got it. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not good at it. I'm afraid of the ball. Honestly, it's huge.
Is the
It's a
ball,
lot
is it like
bigger
a
than-
what kind of is it a really hard ball?
It's not as hard as it looks, but it is bigger than a softball.
Yeah, that's
and
a
my
big ball.
regular
It's almost the size of
glove
a soccer
doesn't
ball.
catch it very well.
Yeah. Do you have a glove or anything? Do you have a glove? or
No,
you
we
just-
have a glove.
You do?
Yeah,
Okay.
and these girls, man, these women are amazing. The Lakeville Police Station.
Oh, really?
Those
Okay.
girls, man. Shout out to them because they can,
Cool.
they can crank, and they're awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, and they're just so much
What's the
fun
name
to
of
play
your team?
with.
What do you represent? The middle.
We're the F-bomb droppers.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you're not going to do it in here.
We're not going to do it.
Oh,
in
but I
here.
like the
We're
name of it.
rated
That's
G
an
in
awesome
here,
team name. I
Which
like
I
it.
should have asked beforehand because
Okay.
I'm not a rated G person.
No, I understand. So
But
tell me about just
behaving.
when you. I mean, I've heard of you from word of mouth or from friends, and you help them out. You help them make good life decisions. Is that it?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, conscious decisions that are,
Based on possibly your own
on
experience. That,
every client and every story is very different.
Right.
And very private and very emotional and very spiritual, and it's somebody else's journey that
course.
I'm influencing, and it gets me awake every day. It pumps
that's awesome. As it should.
fire through me. Yeah.
You went to college, you said, right?
I'm on the 10-year plan, but yes.
10-year plan, what do you mean? You mean you're not done yet?
No, I'm not done. I feel like learning's never really.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah,
But I mean,
learning's never done.
are you enrolled in a school at the present time?
No, I am not.
Okay, but I mean, what I'm
No.
getting at is, do you have a degree in anything from a school that you attended
I have
before?
certifications.
Okay, for
yes,
what?
I am lead teacher certified for preschool in
Okay.
EEC. Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
from what school was that? If you don't mind my asking.
Fisher College, and here in Massasoit. I
Okay.
attended Massasoit
Right.
for great programs.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the EEC scholarship. Yeah.
Where is
was
Fisher? I
part
should
of it.
know that.
Fisher College.
Yeah. Is that Boston?
Nope. There's a campus in Brockton.
Oh, there
and
is?
New Bedford. Yeah.
Where was it in Brockton? On the east side, near Massasoit? Or is it a part of Massasoit?
It's not part of
No, I
Massasoit.
didn't-
No. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
Speaking of Fisher, you
A lot.
remind me, we're both friends with Matt Fisher, the
Yes,
film producer.
yeah.
Have you ever, speaking of him, I'm just wondering, I know you're friends with him because your husband's good friends with him.
Yeah.
Have you ever done any acting at all, or would you ever consider it? Because I'm not thinking that you know Matt. I wasn't going to go in that direction with the show, but thinking that, maybe you might want to try it sometime if you get a little,
Lord, am I?
just an idea. You ever sing and dance, do anything like that?
Oh well, my mom signed me
Play
up
music?
years ago to do. I played piano for
You
a
did?
yeah
Okay,
for
me
a long
too.
time. I couldn't read you a sheet of music to save my life,
Yeah.
and I played all by ear. But I played for 6 years, and I sang all through school.
Sound like you have a nice voice.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it scares the crap out of me. I used to sing in the chorus, and I loved it.
Church?
And
Or
no,
school?
just at the school.
Just at the school?
Yep. And
Okay.
we traveled and sang in Disney and.
So I know
Yeah.
I know your parents. Oh, you sang Disney like hi ho, hi ho.
Well, we performed
Okay,
like
you did?
in Magic Kingdom. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
it was
gotcha.
awesome.
So even though your parents met in the circus, did you grow up in Middleborough?
I did not. I grew up in Whitman
Okay.
until 4th grade, and then I moved to Bridgewater.
Okay. So
Yeah,
the
and
neighborhood,
graduated.
basically.
Yeah, I graduated for BR. From BR, yeah.
BR. Mm-hmm.
Bridgewater Rainham.
I know Bridgewater, class of 2006.
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, you must have been born the year my sister-in-law graduated from BR also.
Oh wow.
1988, I'm guessing.
Wow. 87.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you. Oh.
Yeah.
I have like a photographic memory for dates, and I'm always fascinated by people's dates of birth because I usually know what I did the day they were born.
I was born November 22nd.
That was a Sunday in 1987.
Was it?
Yes.
Wow.
I was watching football.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who was playing?
Well, it was the Patriots against Green Bay, if my memory serves me correctly.
That's cool.
It is. How about that? So, and I was also a student at Mount Ida College then too.
Awesome.
I graduated and then moved on to matriculate to Curry and graduated there in 1989.
Good for you.
Long before I found my true calling, of course. But I do have 2 degrees in communications.
Awesome.
So, but Anna, guess what? We're in the final 5 minutes of the show.
Yes.
So what I want you to do is, before we wrap it up, I ask every guest to give shouts out to people that are going to see it. You can start with Matt Fisher if you want, your husband, your daughter Harlequin, ice cream or whatever.
Yeah.
Allie, and then we'll wrap the show up.
Yes. So shout out to Matthew Fisher, who
Matthew.
Yeah, local producer, Boombastic Films. Whoop whoop.
Boombastic rules. Boombastic. Not basket. Basket is us. Basket case.
Yes.
Just kidding.
And obviously a huge shout out to my honey, my handsome, and my daughter. Without you guys, you know, we wouldn't have our crazy, chaotic life to be able to help others. And I love you guys so much.
There you go. I got to tell you, I love your attitude because I
Thanks.
know you've been through a lot and you're able to laugh anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can laugh through the agony and anxiety, you know, and traumatic stuff, then you can pretty much conquer all your demons.
Yeah. Laughter is definitely
The best medicine.
The best medicine,
It totally
for sure.
is.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that you tell that to a lot of your clients.
I
All
do.
of
Yeah.
them to some
yeah.
degree.
And I tell them if they're not into laughing, then they should be, and then go talk to their doctor about medical cannabis.
Right.
because
Yeah, medical cannabis. Okay,
it
wow.
helps tremendously.
Okay, well, look, I mean, you tell them what you believe, and that
yeah,
makes sense.
for
And
sure. And without it, it totally.
But I'll be honest with
It
you, I
saved our
think
lives.
98% of your success is from your personality, not from medical cannabis.
Oh, well, thanks.
I mean, it's true. I mean, I think that's what
Yeah.
when you have an occupation like the kind you have, you need to have a personality that inspires people, not depresses them.
Yeah.
And in spite of the fact that you have a history of what you've discussed tonight with me, you still managed to just you managed to shrug it off and like fairy dust. Speaking of Disney, it's pretty good.
Fairy dust.
With
yeah.
fairy dust, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you had fun with me tonight.
I had a blast.
Okay.
This was
Also,
awesome.
I just want to also, like ask all my guests,
Yeah.
if you have any people that you know that might have an interesting story to tell, if they're in entertainment or any just ordinary people that want to just spew their guts out and enjoy themselves doing it, I'd love to have them on as guests on my show.
Awesome.
You can pass my information along.
For sure.
So, all right, you ready to wrap it up?
Totally.
Okay, folks. Great to be back in Middleborough again. See you next time. Have a good one. Take care.
Thank you.
Here we go. Thank you.
I'll snap with ya.